themselves. Kevin Stokel still holding it. He's going on that inside rail with less than 200 meters to go. In the miling, 2-miling strength that will let hold up. Well, what about the Fordham Prep Ram, Charles Moran?
Look at Moran.
Okay.
Got that kibble. Oh my goodness, on the outside. That's a flash of blue.
It is a blue streak flash of blue. That is Levi Layden, whose first ever sub-2 was a 155. How fast is he going to go here in lap number 3? 3, 4, I think, whoa! Levi Layden,
Oh my God.
478.
Look at that.
Alright, hello everybody. I'm with Levi Layden here from Saratoga Springs track and field team. He also is a cross-country runner, and I'm going to be interviewing him here for a podcast about his basically all about his running journey, and a big segment of the podcast is going to be about his time at the Puma Elite International meet last year in January of 2025, where he ran a very huge PR. I really just want to inquire about some questions about how he was able to get to that point and how he felt about that race. So basically, I just want to sort of start off the podcast on just a note of because I haven't really asked you much. I mean, obviously we're friends, but I haven't really asked you much about your early days of running, sort of sixth grade, fifth grade. What were you doing? So obviously for me, I wasn't really doing much. I was wondering about you.
Right, yeah. I started off, I was doing soccer for most of my life. And in 8th grade, I had a coach I didn't really care for. And I was going to try cross country for 1 year to see if I liked it. So my freshman year is when I started cross, and I just loved it so much. The whole team was just so awesome. It's where I met Thomas for the first time and a bunch of the other varsity runners. Yeah, I just got accustomed to the team, began to love running.
Yeah, because were you on modified soccer, right? In
Yes.
in middle school, yeah. So I mean, we have a lot of soccer people that go, I guess,
Over to-
from
Yeah.
soccer to cross country. So that does make sense. So basically, I want to kind of go through now your freshman year. So obviously you ran cross country your freshman year. I remember that, and I sort of just wanted to. So once you finished cross country and went into track, how did you figure out that you were a mid distance runner? Did you figure out right away, or what happened?
Loved running my whole life. I really loved the longer distance in cross country, but I also wanted to try some of the shorter distances. It was a different coach than the varsity coach. Coach Riley was the middle distance coach. I wanted to give his program a try. He put me in the 800 for the first time at a couple meets, and I just really found my groove there, and it just felt like I kept learning more and more about the race and getting better at it.
Yeah, and obviously I think it's pretty interesting because you start off in cross country, and now you've been doing cross country for 3 years now, and you basically switch over. It's a really big change from cross country to track whenever you switch, because a lot of the guys on the cross country team, they run long races in track, so it's kind of interesting. You run super fast, in indoor and outdoor, and then you go across country, and you're pretty good
Thank
for
you.
the long distance, but then you switch over. So another question, sort of, when did you figure, so what was your first huge race in the 800 meter? Do you remember that moment, when your first big race?
I do. I remember the first time I'd run a couple 800s, and we went to Utica for the first time. That was my first race on a good track. I was the first leg of the 4x8 relay, and I ran 2:05, and I really had no idea what that meant. And the race was amazing. I felt great, but I ran off the track, and I had one of my teammates come up to me and tell me that I qualified for freshman nationals, and I just couldn't even believe it. That was just an awesome moment for me.
Yeah, that must have been crazy. And also Utica is sort of not as crazy as a track or big of a meet, so that's
Right, yeah.
pretty good for that standpoint. So did you figure out? So once you ran that race, did you think, you could run like in sectionals or the nationals or whatever?
I wasn't really sure. Like I didn't really know too much about sectional national competition yet. I was still kind of learning about it. I really felt like I could kind of, um, I just wanted to keep going as far as I could and see um, what my limit was. Yeah.
So now I kind of transition into the summer after your freshman year, because did you run? I forget. Did you run in summer for before your freshman, or did you go straight on in
No,
like
I
August?
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Came.
that was what I did when I went on the team. I didn't really run summer,
No.
but so summer training, like, did you? Because obviously you had a lot more success probably in indoor track and outdoor track than
Yes.
cross country. So,
Mhm.
what was your mindset going into summer? Like, were you excited for cross country the next year?
Mhm.
Because this is really the start of like one of your biggest seasons ever, like
Yeah.
or to this point, in sophomore year.
Yeah, this was I was really excited to go into cross country. I think um, from my freshman year, I think I personally enjoyed cross country season the most. I just loved running through the woods. I loved the long easy runs. They were just awesome. So going into summer running as a sophomore, I was really excited. But that ended up really being probably one of like the hardest 3 months of training of my life because I really had not done a lot of mileage, and going right into the summer, like right up, starting with a workout, it was very difficult. But I kept pushing through, and I got a lot better throughout the season. But yeah, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, and going into cross country, I mean, in sophomore year, now we're transitioning to sort of sophomore year. I know you dealt with a lot of injuries. I think
Mhm.
a few injuries and sicknesses in cross country. I know definitely a sickness at the end. I think a few injuries in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you couldn't run at the end of the race.
Right.
How's your mindset going into indoor track after sort of a tough end of the cross country season?
Mm-hmm. I was definitely playing it pretty cautious. I had an injury in my foot because I have like flat arches, and then I had a IT band issue on my knee, and then at the end of cross country season I got pneumonia, so I was a little disappointed with kind of how it ended, and I really just wanted to kind of attack the indoor season, see what was going to happen. I know that the training can usually cause a lot of injuries, so yeah, I was kind of working with that, but still training really hard.
Yeah. So next, I think really you said you wanted to attack the indoor season, and obviously we had the Boston meet, which you went to this year and also last year, that you went to, and I believe you ran like maybe two. Did you run that 201?
Yeah.
201 there.
Split.
So sort of that's before the break. You go on break, and you come back for January. Sort of where we're at right now in the time period of now, in the present. So what were you trying to do? Because you're gonna run a very big race pretty soon. Like, were you trying to like really make a big move in this like area of time period, or was it like did the big move that happened in January, which we'll get to, did that sort of just like come up as a surprise?
I gotta start with a big goal that I've had throughout my whole freshman year, and then going into my sophomore year, was trying to break 2 minutes in the 800. Like that was kind of my biggest thing. I hadn't been able to do it. We went to another meet after Christmas, and I had run, I believe, 201 again, which was was kind of disappointing. I just came so close, and I was just really ready to attack the next race and just finally break 2 minutes. I was willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, you definitely did break 2 minutes, because this is really what is really talking about here is a crazy move in the next race. You ran 155 after not being able to break, obviously, because what you mentioned, like the sort of frustration of not being able to break the 2-minute barrier. I mean, 2:01s in a span of a short time period. I mean, you ran 2:01 in your freshman nationals, so
Right.
a long time period of being at that sort of like threshold, and it definitely was a big move that you made in the next race, and
Yes.
it was definitely in a huge moment too.
It was.
Running that, and you were the anchor leg. Were
I
you?
think I was the
Second leg.
second
okay.
leg. I think you let off, I believe.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
lead off in that race, but how did it feel? Because we had the U.S. #1. So in the race, like, when did you realize that? Because you hadn't. I mean, the 6-second jump is like a pretty large jump. I mean,
It was, yeah.
When did you realize in the race? Because obviously, like first 400, second 400, that you were gonna have like a really big day.
Man, I really gotta say, like, I was so ready to attack. I just went out so hard. I don't think that I really realized how fast I was going until I stopped. Like, I went out trying to catch the kid in front of me, and I was slowly reeling him in, and then with about 300 meters to go, I passed him going around a turn, and I just really kept going from there. 200 to go, 100 to go, all the way through the line. I passed the baton, and it felt like the hardest I've ever run, the most effort I've ever put in. And I was really hoping to look up at the clock and see that I ran 1:59, and I looked over, yeah, and I saw the 1:55, and then I heard behind me all my teammates cheering for me. That was probably like the best moment of my life, that race.
Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy because, I mean, because that race, because we had been put it in context, we had been not really doing as well in that 4x8.
Right.
Just at that moment, and to really break through, and also like just for the team to break through, and also for you to break through,
All in the same day.
in the same day, it really was one of the greatest like moments, because there was like the announcers that were like young, like U.S. #1. It really is probably one of the all-time moments in indoor track, definitely.
Saratoga.
And for Saratoga,
Especially.
so
7:35 with 100 meters to go. He needs sub 16. The national leading time, 7:51.26. Blaisdell grimacing, giving it his all for the Togians. Down the straightaway, a U.S. #1, school record, and New York #1. What a day for Owen Blaisdell, 1:55.10.
like after I mean, it really was great. So after this race, I mean, moving in, only a week later, we were going to Milrose
Oh, that's
Games,
right.
which is one of the most prestigious meets
That was
in indoor track for high schoolers and pro athletes. Pro athletes also go there to Milrose. So for Milrose, I mean, Puma was definitely sort of a more laid back sort of environment.
yeah.
For Milrose, were you feeling like so obviously you had only ran 1:55 like once. Were you feeling sort of like
Right.
nervous for the next race after you had run that big like time?
Yeah, I was definitely feeling very nervous. I had a lot more confidence though. I knew that this was at least the highest that I could, like the fastest I could run. So I was just gonna go out and give it my best and try to simulate the exact same thing I did a week earlier. And then I ended up running 1:55 again, having another amazing race. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and we ended up coming second in that race. That's probably I think it's one of the fastest times for the 4x8 in Saratoga history, at least for indoor. I think it was the indoor record. I think it is the indoor
It is our
record.
indoor record.
Yeah,
by a lot.
It is the indoor record. Yeah. So basically now transitioning, I want to go into outdoor. So obviously the indoor season was really good, but in outdoor, I mean these are all in like relays. Now we're sort of transitioning into running them in the open 8 races. So you ran 3 154 point races, separate 154 point races. I mean that's pretty, especially one at Laux Games, which is a pretty prestigious meet. how different is it like starting on the? Because I've actually never ran an open 8 really, like maybe one time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So how different is it like starting on the line without a baton, without having to get the baton? Like, how different is it? Like, how do you approach that?
I think you definitely get in your head a lot more, because when you receive a baton, it's just immediate. You receive it and you just go, you get out. When you're on the line, you're really like, it's very suspenseful, building up to the moment when the gun goes off. But thankfully for the Laux meet, it was we were spaced out really well on the line. It was a nice, cool day. I got a great start. I was able to tuck in behind the first place runner. And we just, like, everybody was really going fast. Everybody wanted to win in that race. And we just kept going around. And I was able to outkick the first place guy. That was a really, really solid race for me. I hadn't been able to really execute it in the open race yet. It all really came together at that moment in the season.
Yeah, and I kind of just want to talk about your kick in those 800 meters, those open 8s. I mean, obviously the 4x8 you usually run in a lot of space, usually, like sort of space, like sort of just like trying to ease your way and kind of make up ground on guys. But in these 800 meter races, it seems that you sort of stay back a bit, like in the race, and then at the end you sort of like unleash like a pretty crazy kick in the last probably like 150, 200 meters. So when did you realize that was like a really good strategy for you?
I think I've always been a fan of like the speed endurance part of running track. So I would run just really fast for a long amount of time and then shift gears and run another speed for a little bit longer. I'd been doing that. Like, I've always loved kicking in cross country, in any race. It's always been just so fun for me. But I kind of got used to it as the 800s, if they would go out slow, or if I felt really comfortable at that speed, I would just test out, see how much speed I could pick up going into the final turn, and I really just kept going and just seeing how much more speed I could pick up, and it really just kind of unlocked like a special talent I had.
Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy. To be at the meets and see like these like kicks, I mean, it really is crazy. Like, I mean, I remember I was at like sectionals. There's plenty of them that he's done, like that you've done. At sectionals, you really just like sort of just like play with the runners. Like, you just like sit there in the pack, and the last 200 meters, I mean, it looks like you're like starting a 200 meter, like open 200 meter. So it's crazy. And,
Thank you.
I mean, those races are really fun to watch, like the 800 meter. It's probably one of the best races in the outdoor track, I think, for like entertainment wise. Like, it's pretty short, but it's also not too short where like the 200 meter and 100 they take like 10 seconds or 20 seconds. It's still like 2 minutes, so I really like that. So also you ran a really good 400 meter last outdoor. I think 49.18.
Yes.
At I think it was Suburbans. Is that sort of just, I mean, you probably weren't focusing on that, but that's just really your speed. Did you go through that with like your coach Riley that year? Did you really like focus on like 40 meter speed at all? Or
we had done a few speed workouts that wasn't mainly what we were focusing on. We were definitely working towards the 800. That was just my main focus. It was really a really unexpected PR that I got that day. I mean, I guess my thing really was the speed that carries me through these races. But yeah, we hadn't been doing too much speed, but I think it was actually our sprinter coach, Coach Conley, who entered me in the 400, and I was just trying to run another good 400, maybe get another 50 point. But there were I think the top two other 400 meter runners in the section were in that race also. And I was just gonna go out as hard as I could, make sure they didn't make up the stagger before the last 100 meters. And I was able to hold on pretty well. and I came through the line and I saw the time, and I was just amazed. I couldn't believe how much like just kind of grit you can put in to a race to make the time even faster.
Yeah, definitely. Like 400 meters really, it's. I mean, the last 100 meters of 400 meters is kind of crazy. It's like, it's really where the grit comes in to like running, and really to any race, but more so in the 400 meter and the mid distance events. I sort of the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is sort of the training regimen with Coach Riley, which was last year, and sort of the differences of sort of this year and last year, and how Coach Riley was a coach, and if it's affected. I mean, Coach Riley has moved over to the girls program in Saratoga, and sort of if it's affected you, and what your mindset is now.
Yeah. So I had Coach Riley as my main coach, my main event coach, for all of my freshman year, and then cross country, indoor, and then half of outdoor. So that's when he had to leave to go take over the girls program, and that was really difficult for me. I think at that point, Coach Riley was mainly focusing on just helping me bring my 800 time down, and it was pretty devastating to find out that he was like leaving the program, and I didn't really know where I was going to go from there. I really had the option to go down to sprinting or up to distance, where I would still do the same training, but just with different coaches that I wasn't used to. But I moved up to distance under Coach Zanetti, and that was incredibly helpful for me. I think incorporating a little more distance volume into my 800 training just really helped my endurance throughout the season, and then it also helped me transition into summer running as a junior. And up to this point, I've still been running under Coach Zanetti with his adapted middle distance program, and it has really been awesome. Even though it was sad that Coach Riley left, I think Coach Zanetti has made a really awesome middle distance program.
Yeah, I think definitely is. I mean, we do sort of modified workouts because you have to at least change it up a little bit for catering to what you're sort of running. I think I like that way. I mean, it definitely was a bit more like segregated. Like, this is definitely the middle distance group like last year. We did like more specific workouts, but I think it's also good as like you're running on teams with like 4x8s and other things like DMRs, which are like distance medley relay events, and it's good to train with guys that you would be running on with relays and like sort of build more connections with them.
Yes.
So I think it's also there's pros and cons to it, both sides.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, it was I was kind of the only like middle distance runner really in the middle distance specific program, and all of the other guys that were kind of running the same events as me on the team were mainly in the distance program. So that was very helpful when I was able to train with them. It just really built our teamwork. We really built the team together.
Yeah, I sort of want to ask about some goals for the end of indoor, outdoor this season, and even next season, and sort of what you would want to do and what kind of meets you would want to go to. I mean, you definitely have like a really good mid-distance talent where you could use it in a lot of places. So what sort of goals are you looking forward to in the next 2 years?
Oh, man. Something that's always been a goal for me since my freshman year. I've always wanted to get the school record in the 800. It is, I got it memorized, 153.12. And that was run by former middle distance runner under Coach Riley. His name was Jay Navin. And he actually came back to coach on the team, and I got to know him. And he's just a really awesome guy, and I really wanted to break that record. I'm really hoping I can do that this hopefully this indoor or outdoor season. That would be awesome. Another a long-term goal that I have. I don't know if it's really possible. It's pretty out there, but I think I might want to go for breaking 150 in the 800, which is that's a pretty big goal.
I mean, it definitely is a pretty big goal, but I mean, definitely for high school, but if you continue on to college, I think you definitely can get that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, continue on running after college. But yeah, I mean, the 800 record has stood for like a very long time. I think it should be broken pretty soon. I mean, it's definitely a very hard record, but it's not a crazy record. So I think you definitely have a chance for that one in the next 2 years.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
And what are some goals for cross? What are you thinking? I mean, this is pretty far away. What are you thinking for cross country next year?
Cross country next year. I think I've found throughout my running career that cross country is not really my strongest distance. I kind of tend to struggle with the mentality throughout the race, just kind of getting lost in it, not really knowing where to pick up speed and whatnot. But I'd really like to I'd like to be more consistent with my times. I've run some really pretty good races, but I feel like I don't tend to like consistently run them throughout the season. I kind of just get one good race and then can't run another one. It just on and off. I think that'd be something I'd like to aim for.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a lot of upside in cross country. I mean, definitely your upside is indoor and outdoor, but you do have some pretty good talent there. I mean, you've ran 172 speed rating a few times. You've gone pretty far down in the 15s at the SPAC course that we have, which is our home course. So yeah, definitely next year, if we have a pretty good team next year, you can definitely be probably the number one runner on the team, I believe. So
That'd be nice.
that's pretty good. I mean, being number one runner on your cross country team and then going out indoor and running like 152 is kind of crazy. So
that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for sharing your goals. Thanks for sharing all the information.
No problem.
It was really nice talking to you. Yeah, glad
Nice
you can
talking.
get some nice information, and it was a pretty great story there.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.